That's good.
Good.
I don't mind
When they
that.
did that presentation over the general and stuff, and I didn't know it until after the meeting. I was like, "Hey, you tell me I would have moved them." So this is the good one.
So green light on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Jeff.
Morning.
Jeffrey?
Morning.
Trumpy.
Morning. Room on this desk. We need bigger commission chambers. We should do that over there in jail.
I agree.
Sorry. Did everybody sign in?
I did.
Funniest thing, I know you.
We're playing JC.
Say again, say?
We're boys playing JC. Baseball.
Yes, mine is, yes, sir. Yep.
Where they spend money, I think they got some extra service money or something.
Yeah.
Florida.
It's called a very stout booster club that works.
Right.
I'm telling you, yeah.
I don't want to hear anything about what.
Yeah.
Actually, what I need to preach to do, what's he?
I don't know. He may melt.
He made milk.
No, he may have melted because of the rain.
Oh.
Yeah, well, yeah. He
Get
is,
him in here. We're gonna be slamming him like this.
he is skinny.
No, I wasn't talking about that. Sugar melts.
Yeah,
What else?
yes, yeah,
Pebbles.
yes,
Small churches.
yes.
A
Hummus,
duck.
yes,
That's how you find out they're a witch.
that's right.
They're out of like Richton, Missouri or something
It's
like
not,
So it's way more than a duck.
Oh,
They sing. Have you ever seen Monty Python?
I mean, they had an application to see my. I'll just send you.
just a flesh wound.
Started that.
Yes. And Life with Brian too.
Just a flesh wound.
Loretta, you want to be a woman. You can't possibly be a woman. Where's the fetus going to gestate? You going to keep it in a box? Well, he does have the right to want to be a
I
woman.
don't want to pay
He's a loony.
and I want to call 35
It's not live. Yeah.
Well, on the steps that we put, whatever, you know.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against what you're saying, but, you know, you can't use that against them now.
We'll get
We just throw stuff on your side
Okay,
now.
I have, would you rather have an e-copy, because I scan it, or would you rather have a physical?
I don't want
All the extra copies. I needed 4 of them so I could keep track of what's going on.
I'll get with him, put them in a box and give them to
See if I can get to the scans.
He'll go through everything. He's the boss, he'll tell me what.
Did you take your meds, Debbie? I heard that. Now I'm worried.
No, I can today. Yesterday I couldn't.
And what was, every time something about the lottery?
That's what I was saying. Yesterday I couldn't get in. I couldn't figure it out.
No, they were.
Well, we survived April Fool's Day, so.
Barely.
He was having to bid this. I wanted to buy some extra cameras. That was out. I'll talk to
You guys ready? You ready?
Probably not capable of this.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, call commission order. Do we have any minutes reports? Commissioner committee liaison reports or announcements of upcoming meetings and or events.
I got Salute to America today.
We got Cole County Communities tomorrow morning. We got Cole County Extension tomorrow night. Wardsville Lions Club tomorrow night. Eastside Business Association Friday morning. We got a St. Mary's redevelopment meeting.
That's Friday morning.
What is that about? Do we need to go?
You don't need to go.
Good.
But you can if you want.
I got a different meeting I'd rather go to.
And I have a MOPERM board meeting on Friday also. I guess we have a commission meeting that night, that afternoon.
Yeah, it's that closed session.
And it looks like it's it for a while.
We don't have anything till next Thursday.
That's what I see too. Okay, first item on the agenda is presentation from the Soil and Water Conservation District. Welcome.
Thank you.
Morning.
Morning. One of the mics, this one is not working very well.
Which one?
The one down there.
And get it off the table. You guys all have to use the good one now. They knew which wasn't working.
Handouts, whichever they prefer. Thank you. Yeah, so they can put it up, not just- I can do both.
You're not
I did
gonna let
bring a
Bucher talk?
brief- Pardon?
You're not gonna let Bucher talk?
Oh, he gets his turn later.
Oh, he's there for something
He's for
different.
something else.
I was gonna say it's probably a good choice. Sorry, man.
It's a tough crowd, Jeff. It's a tough crowd.
Well, you don't call, you don't write. Finally come up and visit us.
Well, good morning, and thank you for inviting us to be here. I just had a brief
Debbie.
PowerPoint presentation, just a little bit about what the district is. Oh, that's okay.
You can hold it if you want. It slides
Nah.
right out.
I'll sit down. I do better when I sit. Okay, did you get it? It's the 2014. Yeah.
Turn the lights out.
There we go. Okay, so like I said, the Stormwater District greatly appreciates the contribution that the County Commission does every year, and this is just to let you know a little bit about who we are, what we do. We are a locally led entity. We are a political subdivision of the state created by state statutes, and we provide non-regulatory conservation direction. Our responsibility is to conserve soil and water resources. We do prioritize the county needs. Just can you hit slideshow?
Click on slideshow. It should have an option that says from beginning. It's over to your my left. There you
we
go.
go.
And then
All
just
right,
hit
and
the
then
space
advance
bar.
this. There we go. Okay, and then we do prioritize the county's needs based on when we've been for field visits or when we've had contact by landowners. And we do provide financial incentive to assist agricultural landowners, and that's by state statute that our sales tax for cost share is directed at agricultural landowners. We're managed by a board of supervisors that are for locally elected farmers, and that again is a state statute requirement that they have to be a farmer to be on the board for the election. The state statute also requires that one of the board members is the University Extension representative. So we have a board of 5, and then there are 4 employees currently in the office. Myself as district manager, we have 2 technicians, and then we have a part-time equipment operator. Every year we get income from our equipment rental, which we currently have 3 no-till drills. We have a piece of equipment called a weed wiper, which spreads chemicals around on a field to help control the weeds. And then we have burn equipment, which landowners rent to do their prescribed burns. So we get approximately $10,000. It can be up as high as 15 in a good year, or maybe as low as 8 or so in a not so active year. But we get income from that rental equipment. And the technical assistance that we provide every year, the technicians go out to the field to visit with the landowners. We do farm visits, and they talk about the best management practices that are available for the erosion problems that the landowners are having. We do conservation farm plans, which covers basically the entire farm, what the landowner wants to do, what's best for the farm, and it sometimes can go as far out as 5 to 10 years, planning on what we want to do this year, next year, and whatever, especially in rotational grazing. That usually covers at least 3 years on doing the fencing, doing the water distribution, and setting the tanks and things like that. We do soil loss determinations, grassland management. We do nutrient and pest management. And then we also have technical advice to urban landowners as they call in with problems sometimes after storm events. They may have some erosion problems, through their yard, especially in subdivisions that have little creeks in them or things like that. The cost share, like I said, which is by state statute only available to agricultural landowners, is for erosion control practices, managed intensive grazing, nutrient and pest management, animal waste systems. We do help with some of the structures for animal waste. Then we also have water quality practices, which include stream buffers, well decommissionings, spring developments, and some things like that that are more designed for water quality improvement opposed to erosion control. We do look at the needs of the county. We try to have a 5-year plan every year, and these needs are based on, again, what we've seen in field visits and questions and contact that we've had from landowners on what they would like to do. So we use this in what we develop every year to submit to DNR, as our funding is through DNR with the soil and water sales tax, and come up with what we request every year from them for cost share financial assistance to have for our Cole County landowners. State cost share funds in fiscal year 2013, and we do have a July through June fiscal year. We had $192,000 that we actually spent with the landowners in Cole County for cost share practices. In 2014, we have $291,000 available. So far, we've obligated $222,000 of that, and we've only spent $115,000, but our goal is to spend as much of that as possible. One of the things that we have determined, and a change that DNR has made, is that they're basing the amount of funding they give us for staff based on how many cost share dollars we spend. And their goal is, in order for us to be able to have a third or like 3 full-time staff, which right now we have 2 full-time, 1 part-time, and we had a second part-time that just retired last year, and we would like to replace him. But in order to get to that point, we have to spend $300,000 in cost share. So that's our goal, is to try and get that high. And of course, you can't spend it unless you get it. So we have to spend it in order to get more. And it's one of those sort of circle issues where you've got to do one and to get the other. And I mean, if we want to get to the point where we get the ability to spend $300,000 in a year. We did have a special project called the Grace Creek Salt Area. SALT stands for Special Area Land Treatment. And that area was from about Highway 179 to Centertown North and Highway 50 North. That was an area that we had a special pot of money to do for landowners, cost share practices there. And it was a 7-year project that ends this June. And we, out of the cost share money that we have, last year we spent $58,000 in that particular area, and this year we have $44,770 to spend to finish that project out. It's been a good project. This is a map of the area, and over the 7 years we've had $468,000 available for that area. So
what is the SALT project? I mean, what?
Well, it's just basically it's a special area land treatment. We do a concentrated effort in that area. When we targeted that area, it was an area of the county that really hadn't had a lot of activity, and so we wanted to get those landowners involved in doing more to get conservation on the ground. Okay. So the state funding that we receive from the soil and water sales tax through DNR is they give us funding for the employee salaries, excuse me, of $77,765. We have, like I said, 3 employees, and the salaries range from $12.82 per hour to $16.12 per hour. The employees, I've been there for 29 years. We have 2 technicians that have been there. One's been there for 10 years, and one has been there for 15 years. So we don't have a high turnover rate on employees. We do have employee benefits that we get some funding through DNR for the health insurance, which they only provide coverage for the employee. They don't provide any additional help for dependent coverage. And then we do have a 5% for retirement, which is just a SEP IRA retirement account. We get $5,500 for office operation, and we get $1,700 in education funds. So we get a total of $109,000 from the state each year to help run the district. Our expenses each year, for the salaries, we actually spend $86,000. That includes the training, the travel, and the employer part of the taxes, Social Security, Medicare, and things like that. The benefits, which is the health insurance and retirement, we get $26,000 on that, or we spend $26,000 on that. And the office operation actually costs us around $12,000 to $13,000. So you can see from this that we spend more than what we actually get from the state. Education programs, which includes things like the annual meeting. We have a grazing school. We support Envirothon, which is a high school natural resource competition. We support women in agriculture meetings. We have contractors workshop where we have the contractors come in and talk about any of the standards and specifications that are required for the practices that are constructed, and different kinds of things like that. We will go into the schools and do programs there. With the rules of the Jeff City Public Schools, we do have to get special permission for any materials that we take into the schools. So we do have education programs available there. So our total yearly expenses are $131,000, which leaves us a deficit of $22,000. And this is what we've had. These are the numbers for this fiscal year. And so we make up that $22,000 with the funding from the county commission, the income from our rental equipment, and any other donations that we come up with. So that's just a real quick what we do, who we are, what our financial status is, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right. Thank you very much. Chris, Jeff, questions?
Who's on your board? Who are the board members?
The board members, John Lesh. The board's the county's divided into 4 different territories, and so John Lesh represents the Jefferson Township. Roy Rydell Jr. represents the Clark Township, which is down around the Russellville area. Kevin Kerperin represents the Liberty and Osage Townships, which is the eastern part of the county. And Mark Thompson represents the area from Lowman, Missouri, that area like that. So we have those 4 elected board members, and then James Quinn from Extension is our 5th board member. And they've all been on the board for, Kevin's the youngest, and he's been on the board, I think, for like 5 or 6 years. So there's not a lot of turnover. And we just did an election. We have to do an election every 2 years. And so John Lesh and Roy Rydell were just reelected.
You do that on purpose.
Where's your office located?
Our office is on Boggs Creek Road. We're actually in the USDA Service Center, so the Natural Resources Conservation
So you're
Service.
with NRCS?
Right,
Okay.
and they provide our office space. They pay the rent, and we use their phone system. The state provides our computer system, so that helps cut down on our overhead cost.
And is some of that equipment kind of a joint, your cedars and burns and stuff? Is that a joint venture with NRCS? Or
No, that's strictly owned by the district, and
Okay.
we, provide the insurance to cover that. Our equipment operator, and we found it's best as far as liability reasons that we have an operator that he takes it to the farm where it's going to be used and he picks it up. So he's the only one pulling it down the road. That's something that helps on the liability issues
Okay.
with the equipment.
Is that equipment available to all landowners? Or?
Yes,
Okay.
any landowners, and Cole County landowners are a higher priority.
Okay.
We do rent to landowners out of the county. It's a little bit higher cost and they're lower priority.
Okay. Good. I think it's a good program.
I agree. We have a court order to fund it for $5,000. Any other discussion? You guys good to move on it?
Yep.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion second. Call the roll, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, by roll call vote. Contract and court order is approved. Again, thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate it, and thanks for the good work you guys do for the community.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Jeff, you want to talk about Homemaker?
No, I'm fine. Oh, forgot you were still here.
Yes, I know.
Goodness, tough crowd.
Real quick. These are our old brochures. I was trying to figure out what we were going to do with them.
You give them to us.
We're getting some new ones made up, and you know, as a not-for-profit, I don't like to see waste. So,
Debbie, thank you.
Here you go, Debbie. Floor is yours, Jeff.
thank you. I'm Jeff Bucher. I'm with Homemaker Healthcare. We've been serving senior citizens in Jefferson City for over 40 years. We currently run a community outreach program that the Commission has supported for many years. We want to thank you. We appreciate those funds. They do all stay local right here in Cole County, as well as United Way supported. The program, what it does is it helps keep seniors living independently at home by loaning adaptive equipment to low-income and disabled individuals who do not have the means or finances to immediately get them when those need arises. The programs also offer training, resources to individuals and family members who are assisting an elderly or handicapped member living independently at home. Programs like this are popular in our community because the studies have shown that elderly people who continue living at home have lower rates of depression, heal faster, and greatly contribute to their community as a whole. The two primary segments that we service include at-risk seniors with limited resources, as well as elderly with no network or family of friends living below the poverty level. This program provides essential items that a person needs to remain safe while living on their own. Today, Homemaker Healthcare has over 900 items out of temporary loan into our community. We service over 343 seniors in the last year alone. The program that was developed many years ago, the idea came along when we found a large number of individuals were looking for a place to donate used items when their loved ones passed away. There was no place for this. We were obviously a first choice because we had access to these individuals. They wanted to know if there was somebody that needed these items. At that time, we weren't doing anything with them. It was interesting because also at the same time, we would have people that would ask us, gosh, you know, I can't afford a piece of equipment. This is where this program was developed. It works just like a library. We take in pieces of, used equipment, shower chairs, bed baths. We have an individual that cleans them, sterilizes them, looks over them to make sure that they are sound. We put them into a community closet. Individuals that are living below the poverty level or on Medicaid can come in and check those items out on a temporary basis. It's an amazing program. The need far outweighs our ability to even come close. We're facing a time now that is even getting scarier with advances in medical progress. People are living longer. Everybody knows what the finances are, so we know what the senior population is growing, and we're trying our best to keep people living at home. That's great for a community because it costs about $52,000 a year in the state of Missouri to take care of somebody in a nursing home, and we can do it for used equipment, keeping them safe living in their own homes.
Good. Any questions for Jeff?
I see that you, wheelchairs, walkers, canes, shower benches, some of those things. I mean, do you get into any of the alert systems or anything for those people that may fall or anything like that?
We don't, and the reason that we don't do that is because that's usually a subscription service.
Okay.
We do offer resources if somebody needs that, and that is an item. We have two companies that we actually recommend, but
Okay.
that is a subscribed service.
Kind of work with them to
We
get
do.
them that service if they need it.
Right, and part of what we also do is one of the things I mentioned is a resource. Really, anything that an individual needs to live independently at home, we have individuals, volunteers, and staff that will assist them in doing that.
Okay. Do home visits at all or no?
This program does no home visits at all.
Okay. All right. Good.
So we have a contract for $7,500.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Call roll, please.
Chris?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes, by roll call vote, the contract with Homemakers approved. Jeff, thank you for what you guys do. We do
Yep.
appreciate it.
Thanks,
We
Jeff.
do need to get you to sign that. And I think there's real value in that. I mean, it really helps our citizens, particularly
It's a great
that need
program.
folks.
Yep.
So,
I'd like to invite anybody that wants to see some of what we do. Come on down.
Okay.
thanks for what you do, Jeff. Appreciate it, and for all the other folks that help out down there. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thanks,
See you,
Jeff.
man.
See ya.
All right, next item on the agenda is the discussion of bid award 2014-06 remodel public administrator's office.
The last time I was up here, we talked about this. GBH was the low bid, and then MRA was the third low bid, but they had a 20-day lead time as opposed to the 60, 70 as the other ones. I went back and talked to MRA. We had discussed liquidated damages, talked to them about the $500 a day. I sent you a couple emails on this. They were willing to do that. They wanted to change it to 30 if that was possible. And then the last time I spoke with them, they wanted to do the $500 a day at the 20 days as initially bid, but they wanted to request a $3,262 cap on that, which was the difference between their bid and the low bid from GBH. And so I guess we're here to figure out what we're going to do.
If we're gonna change the bid, then I'm not gonna vote to keep doing it. Because if we're gonna cap it, then we should go back to GBH and give them the opportunity to say, sure, we'll do it in 30 days for our price. So I kinda think that eliminates the reason I voted to do the best bid, not necessarily the lowest. So is that, I talked to Matt yesterday and he was gonna try to make it up today. I guess, he's not here. I told him it might be in his best interest if we had questions for him, but at this point, I don't want to hold it up. I'd like to see it done as quick as possible, but I can't.
One of my concerns originally, when I voted no for it, was that there had to be something that kept a lot of them from doing a quicker time frame, and so I spoke with GBH, and one of their main things was the large wood arched custom door, and he had indicated that there was 30-day lead time on that, and maybe longer. So, I think just for them to a little bit of CYA is why they were at 70 days, and learning a little bit more about it. We got to finish one, and then we got to move Maryland, and then we got to finish the other. So, I mean, I'm still leaning to give the project to GBH.
Well, Matt said it was never indicated that one had to be done before the other. Greg said it was.
Is it in the
I
bid
wasn't
documents?
there. Yeah,
No.
I wasn't
Is it
there,
written
so I
down
can't say.
anywhere?
No.
So,
Then that when we're adding a new requirement that we didn't put out in the bid. If tiering it is a mandatory component of it, it has to be in the bid.
well, they can't move her until the others is done. So, is this something that you would have to have written, or is it something that you catch when you're bidding it, or what?
Well,
It's a moot point, really, because either
If we
way,
award to him and we keep the straight 20-day window without the tiering, we just say you got to do it in 20 days. How's he going to do it? I assume he just moves her out of the office into the hallway.
hallway.
Not my problem.
It's gonna
That's
be
Donnie's problem and Marilyn's
It's
problem.
gonna be a fun year. 8 more months, man. 9. No, I
Eight
understand where
months,
it's coming
29
from.
days. Thank you very much.
So,
I don't want to hold the project up. I want to move it forward. I do not want to go through. If you guys want to award it to GBH, you guys have that discretion. I just want to make sure. I don't want to go through it's torn up for 60 days. They'll go in, they do the demolition, and then they sit there for 60 days in a demolished state while they do 19 other projects in the community for other customers, and then come back in the last 10 days and do all the work.
well, in their defense on that door, you may have to cut that door out, get the archway ready, prepped, before you can actually make a custom door like that. So they may come in and do stuff and have to wait 30 days for it to be fabricated, and then come in, install it, and finish that room, and then move her. So I understand where the 60, 70 days is.
We just need, the space needs to be down, out of commission for the shortest possible period of time.
Right, I agree with
Because
that.
the whole purpose in this is to come up with space for a jury room. And if what we're doing is we're going to say for 3 months there's one, not going to be any space for a jury room, and two, the temporary space we've been using for a jury room's gone.
I used that space yesterday for the last 2 days for a jury. I had one handicapped person on that.
It's up to you guys.
Well, I mean, I see it as they'll come in and get the bulk of it complete, and then they may have to put a door in. And Maryland can.
Maryland can operate without a door
Yeah.
for a short period of time. I don't have a
Exactly.
problem with that. But I don't think that's what. I don't know that we have control over that through the contract. If we say, okay, contract says you have 70 days to get it done. They
Right.
then have control over how they schedule that 70 days. And if they want to go in and rip everything out down in the old civil and then walk away for 60 days, they're within their contractual rights to do that. It's not till day 70 that they exceed their contract.
And that brings up a whole nother issue, and I talked to Jen about this too. We may need if we're gonna have pre-bids, we may need to be there so we can specify that here's what we want done, how we want done, when we want done. Don't call Jen if you got problems.
But historically, I thought the way this was done, because we went through this with the jail, and I remember when we went through all this with the jail, and we did pre-bids on the jail, and then after the pre-bid, we issued something in writing.
An addendum. Yeah.
It was either an addendum or it was answers to questions that were specifically asked, and it was out there in writing, and we said this is going to be part of the bid document. I mean, we cannot go out and put out a bid document and then have people amending it by standing there saying, I think we ought to do this, without putting it in writing.
Right. So if no addendum's issued, there's nothing in writing, so you bid it as the documents.
Exactly.
And kind of the problem I run into is in a setting like that, there's so many sidebar conversations. Which that is what it is. And then, whenever we went to Dale's area, there's so much white noise. It really is hard to hear what everyone's saying.
But that's the point of, if there's going to be a change, it's got to be in writing.
Right.
I mean, Greg, if you're out walking through with somebody and they tell you it's something different, what do you do? I mean, that's not fair to the contractors in the first place. They don't know what to do. You get told one thing, you don't hear it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm going to put it out on the line right now, in all fairness to all of the bidders, if we go and change it to accommodate MRA the way that he proposed to put a cap on liquidated damages, I won't vote for it that way, and I'll make a motion that we just award it to GBH. We're not here with a negotiation with them, and I didn't know if we can sit down and negotiate it or not.
I'll second.
We can negotiate the terms, but not the cost. And they put the days on there, so I don't know if you'd have to give them all the ability then to change their
I can't put words in his
dates.
mouth, but when I talked to him, I don't think he would be willing to put more liquidated damages on it.
I don't think that's the impression I
He's going to begin to lose
got.
money at some point.
That's the impression
So-
I got also.
And he's not here, so that's why I'm just saying I can't vote for that change. So I made the motion and Chris seconded it. So
So you did make a motion. I didn't know that you actually made the motion.
Well,
you said I would make a motion.
Okay, I will make a motion.
I heard it second. I was going to say I don't actually have a, but you guys were all rolling,
Just
so I
to
thought
keep
I'd let it roll go on.
Just keep it moving. And, I wish we could get it done in 20 days, 30 days even. All
right.
I just don't know if
There's
he
a
can do
motion,
it.
second. Call roll. No.
Yes.
Yes.
By a 2-to-1 roll call vote, motion carries. Contracts awarded to GBH with a 70-day period. Next item on the agenda is courtroom renovation discussion. Aren't you glad you came over here, John?
I got a feeling I'll be over here a lot. So.
If you guys remember, this is the process that we had.
We went out to bid. We had no bids, which I believe we looked at the statute on it. Throws the ball back into our court to make a decision whether to award with. On the basis of no bids, we can declare that it's an urgent need and we can vote it, or we can go out and try to rebid again.
So we had discussion on this, and I don't know, did you want to have John present on this? Or so I think we all talked to Jill in regards to this. And anyway, so where I'm at on this is MRA was one of the proposals, and Ling Construction, who has done work in the courtrooms, was the other. MRA was low on the proposal. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So my issue on this one was we're talking about two proposals, and to me, the work being done is more of a specialty trade than typical construction practices, because it is all finished work, all custom woodwork, and we know what we're getting with Ling, who has done multiple projects in the courtrooms. And so my vote would be to award to Ling Construction, who has done the work in the past.
Can you get a bond?
Why did he bid it?
He didn't get one for the bidding process, which is one of the reasons why he didn't. He kind of dragged his feet on bonding. So
Can he get a bond?
We think he can get a bond.
I mean, we cannot award this contract without him being able to post a bond. I don't think we have the statutory authority to do that.
Can I see them? Did
And Matt has a bond
that's what I was going to say. I
proposal
thought
in
he
there.
had
In
it
fact,
in
it's
there.
signed and executed.
He actually had his together and just for some reason didn't get it here on time, which not my fault, but that was what I understood was the problem with Link Construction. He could not be bonded or get a bond or wouldn't get a bond or.
How's he done work over there in the past?
But he's done all the courtroom.
He did every courtroom.
But how?
How?
Without a bond.
That was because the judges said, Kevin, go do it. And then came to us and said, here's the bill. And we had some knockdown dragouts over that.
I think we'll get Kevin.
Okay, I just wondered.
That's why it doesn't happen anymore.
I don't think that he can't get a bond. I don't think he has gotten a bond. So subject to that, I would prefer to have Ling do the work also, but we'll get him bonded if we had to.
What's MRA's bid? Where's it at?
It's
Okay,
tabbed
found it.
right there. It's about 3. It's almost exactly the same difference in price as the GBH one.
It seems like I'm just voting against MRA, but I'm not. I just Matt. I mean, I know Matt, and he does a lot of construction, but doing construction, roofing, siding, some of the things that Matt does and other things too is not doing finish work, is not doing custom woodwork. I mean, basically fabricating, kitchen cabinets, doing stuff like that. I mean, that's a specialty.
He already built the courthouse. But my thing is, we have to find out if Kevin can be bonded. That's going to be one of your questions about, we can't give you that answer right.
Yeah.
We have to find that out.
I mean, if you guys want to vote it and give it to MRA,
What do you think, Jeff?
I'm thinking MRA is the lowest bid, and just because he doesn't usually do this type of work, specialty work, how many times does specialty work like this, come about? If he's got the people that will do it, and he's got the talent and the access to people that can do it, I don't care if he subcontracts it out to people that know what they're doing. He could subcontract Lean Construction out to do it and do it. So that's why I would lean more towards MRA. I wish Ling would have just got the bid in from the get-go and got the bond, because
Yeah,
he's done the other stuff, and it would be a lot nicer to be able just to work with that. But I can't hold that against MRA. And we can hold our feet to the fire, make sure they do it right. We've done that with some new contractors on some concrete work, do some big projects. I know we were scared to go out on a couple of them because it's somebody hadn't worked with us before. But until you give them a chance to get their foot in the door,
I
don't think
I agree with that too. I mean, you got to give people a shot. I hate to give somebody a shot. If it was in your kitchen, would you give somebody a shot that hadn't done your kitchen cabinets?
$3,000 difference, and this
would
is
be
different than.
This would be another one, have to have a time limit on how long you're in for. That's.
Did it say it in the bid?
It didn't say it in the bid.
Yeah,
got.
Yeah, it did.
It did?
We had certain
Well-
dates blocked off the courtrooms. You can-
So here's what I got. I got one that has nothing. I mean, this is no different than
We gave them the dates the courtrooms were gonna be down.
none of that's in this. This, on the other hand,
We're not
has
talking-
a full. Where's it at? What page? 10. Hang on.
Because we had.
This is a signed bid proposal that has those dates included in it.
Okay. I don't, we just had the dates down, because that's the days that the judges were gonna be gone, we could try to move courts around to make it amenable to everybody working. We actually wanna pull the dockets for everybody to try to make those.
So
dates.
why is it such an urgent issue right now? I mean,
They're
why?
going- They're going to e-filing starting
Okay,
April 28th.
but why didn't we do this? When did we know e-filing was coming in and knew that we was going to have a certain date we'd have it done?
Well, it wasn't a question of when we knew e-filing was coming in. It's when OSCA came over and pointed out the need of space on the bench.
We had
which was
plenty.
just a couple
We had
months
plenty of time.
Okay, that's my
We,
question.
we had plenty of time. The fact we didn't get any bids is why we're now
Yeah,
at the short time frame. If we'd have gotten bids,
right.
had this been submitted on time, we would have awarded it the next Monday, and
We'd been done by.
we'd all be done. But unfortunately,
Then rebid it. If we had plenty of time.
no, we don't
should-
have it now.
When did we find out we needed to have this done?
I don't know. I'm
It
sorry,
was about 5 or 6 weeks ago.
60 days ago.
So
At
they
least, 'cause
come
we
in
put the
there-
bid out at least 60 days ago.
So they came in 2 months ago and said, you got to have bigger
Yeah.
benches.
Right.
Do it or what?
No, that's not what they said.
Well,
So they came in and said we're going to move your system to an electron. All the courts are going to electronic filing.
Right.
They came in and said we're going to move your system to electronic filing.
When they say that?
180 days ago.
Okay, so about 6 months ago,
So-
that was the first we heard about going to an e-filing system.
Well, I mean, it had been talked about for years. We didn't know when it was going to be. They gave us about 6, maybe 8 months of lead time. I
Okay.
don't know. So we had lots of lead time. This issue is not OSCA saying we have to do this. This
it's
is
just that
not.
OSCA came in and pointed out that the
This
courtroom
is
needs to
this
be
is
adjusted.
designed. This is designed so that you can have the 2 computer screens, because it's all electronic now. There's no more paper.
You're not going to have boxes. You're going to have another computer screen.
Basically, that's it.
Yeah.
And I understand that.
And the
So
benches are not
when
built
did they
for that.
tell us that we had to have room for that? Why are we
They
not?
have never told it. This is the court. This is not OSCA. This is you guys, no offense intended,
Well,
telling us, hey, we need these benches adjusted so that we can make this electronic filing system work most efficiently.
I guess what I'm getting at is somebody's failure to plan, and I know you heard this 1,000 times before, does not constitute an emergency on our part. So, who dropped the ball? Where did this start at? Or are we going to run into this again?
Well, the drop the ball was
Was
nobody
OSCA?
submitted a bid. That's where the ball got dropped.
Well, what happened, I was here a month or so ago apologizing that I didn't get it in here in December because I wasn't aware of what had to be done with the benches.
December wouldn't have really gave us that much more time because
Well-
by the time we advertise it and set it out to bid, that doesn't help us a whole lot.
Right.
I'm
But-
just saying, a year ago they should have said, "Look, we're going to go paperless. It takes a hell of a lot more room. Let's start preparing for this." Now you got 4 courtrooms. We got to do this on all 4, right?
No, just 2 more.
We just got to do it on 2. Okay.
Yeah. See, Division One, that no adjustments needed to be made because everything is, big enough to handle the clerk and the screens. We made the adjustments now on greens. We pulled out for a larger clerk space and it's capable of handling the dual screens. And next, where our plan was to be in Judge Joyce's to expand the areas so she can have dual screens and the clerk can have a bigger space. And then Sodergrens would start on the 16th. So,
But John, I'm just frustrated with Oscar coming in, and they want to do all this stuff that makes sense to me. But if they can work with us, if we can't get any bids or we need to rebid it, surely they can hold it off for 60 days or something and work with us. I'll work with you. I'll vote to award it to somebody today to get this moving. I don't have a problem with that. But they got to get their heads out of their butts and try to work with us and prepare for this stuff.
For Jeff.
They're playing against us, and we used to do this with the city. We used to fight with the city, and if they need to come, we need to meet with them. Then let's meet with them and get on the same dang page. It's just we shouldn't have to have this
the
meeting.
statute does not require a bond if it's under 25,000. So it's not a requirement that they have a bond.
So
I still think it's
this
good
isn't going to
policy
be a
to have a bond.
$25,000.
It's right at it.
After, to be honest,
Somebody
after-
knew that keeping under $25,000 meant they didn't have to have a bond, didn't they, John?
I'm not that smart. But to be honest, after I saw Lang's work in Judge Green's courtroom and how much it costed us there, I think I seriously doubt if the work in Sodergren's courtroom is going to run $11,000 then, because it's basically the same work he did in Green's, and we did that for. I think when it was all said and done, it was going to be $5,000 counting the carpet. So.
It's not what he bid.
Let's vote it.
I don't have a motion.
Let me see the bids again. And just some more I think about winter too.
No, there's no motion.
I can't vote for just this here. It's not all laid out like we're supposed to be for the bid.
It's not a
Didn't the
bid.
Say we're supposed to have a.
It's not a bid, it's a proposal. Neither one are a bid.
Yeah, because we didn't give them on time. So they're proposals.
Not subject to any of the bid documents, basically.
Well, the MRA one is, because the way they submitted their proposal.
Right.
So we get all the contractual terms with the MRA one. We get,
Based on his proposal.
I mean, we get nothing on his until we have a contract with him, because we actually have to have a contract.
Right.
We can do this. Your first day of construction is April 5th. That's Friday. That's Saturday.
That's Saturday or Monday, but
So
That's if he's gonna have to steam it, whoever gets it has to steam it. If we have to move it back, we'll have to make arrangements to court somehow work it in.
Right.
We'll do whatever we can do.
So now they can work it in.
okay.
I don't know.
Judge Joyce has said
So let me-
her priority is to have Sodergren's. Make sure that
Let me walk through this in a different way of explaining this. If this is urgent and needs to be done, then then it's gonna be MRA. That's gonna be my vote. Okay, because we can sign and approve the contract and give them a go notice today, because we have a contract. We have all the paperwork in order. They've agreed to the dates, everything. We can sign and give them a go notice. If timing's irrelevant,
It's better to stay with the timing we have, the block and period that we have, because that's when people are.
if timing's irrelevant, then you guys like Kevin Ling, we can have a debate about that. We can go out and rebid it if timing's irrelevant. I mean, if the courts will adjust their schedules as needed, we can go out and do a new bid. I mean, there's lots of options then. But if timing is critical, there's one option. I don't know how long it'll take Kevin Ling to get us a contract. I don't think he's ever done any work for us under a contract. I don't even think he can pull one of the old ones out and change the dates.